And just like that, we're back. Back to our book, back in Central Florida. Today's quote from January the 30th is from Gary Trainor. Meghan Trainor, the singer-songwriter, that's her dad. And he said, life will get better if you let it. And Hoda reflects upon Meghan saying, he's my guy. He's the one, she says. Everything I do, I'm inspired by him. She goes on to say her dad has spoken those words throughout her life, comforting and encouraging her whenever she complains about something. The singer-songwriter says the phrase is a reminder that while so much of her journey is beyond her control, what she can affect is her attitude. A positive outlook, no matter what happens, is within her reach. I wish that dark cloud wasn't above those bright pink clouds. Maybe in a little while, as the sun sets, it'll showcase all those awesome little colors. But a bright pink sunset over there in the distance. So this would be a nice place for a backdrop and a reflection on today's quote. I have to admit something. I had a video recorded yesterday that I was planning on editing and uploading tonight. But then I sat on this quote for the entire day and thought about it a little bit more. And then something happened today that gave me a perspective that I did not think about until, well, late this afternoon. But first, before that, let's get to the quote at hand. The one word that stands out to me in that whole quote is the word complaining. Okay? Life will get better if you let it. Well, how does that happen? Does it happen naturally? Do you just let it go and it just magically happens? Or does it take some work? I think it takes a little work, and it goes back to that word complaining. There are things in life that are legitimately things to complain about. For example, if you have a car repair or getting a new car, and let's say your car is constantly breaking down on you, that's a reason to complain because your life is at stake. However, recording a video on your street and having to stop over and over again because of the loud trucks going by or the dogs barking is not really a reason to complain, right? I can, but what's the point, right? So when you think about that, you take out the complaining, but you got to replace the complaint with something else. You got to replace it with gratitude. I read an article a while ago, and I've mentioned it more than a few times here on my channel, that said the one thing that happy people do every single day is be grateful. Okay, so when you're about to complain about something, pause, take out the complaint, put in a little bit of gratefulness, find that little silver lining in that complaint, and I think that's the key, right? Because when you're grateful and you're happy, happiness leads to a better life overall, right? So it won't happen by itself. It needs a little bit of work. You know, other things we complain about, I can complain about traffic coming from work, but then do I really need to complain? I mean, after all, I'm thankful and grateful I have a job. Okay, I was up at Publix just now, and the line for the 10 items or less checkout was extremely long and very slow. I could have got grumpy and complained about it, but I thought, you know what? There are people in our country who won't even eat today. So I have no reason to complain because I have to wait a few extra minutes to cash out when we have plenty of food already at our home and in my cart. So the little things, don't complain, let it go, look for the silver lining. But what if the silver lining isn't there? Is it possible that the silver lining isn't there? You do all the steps, you take out the complaint, you put the gratefulness in, you be grateful and you be happy, leads to a better life. You're making that choice to do that, but sometimes it just isn't there. For example, let me give you a story. Story time, ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a chef. And this chef worked in a wonderful restaurant. He was very happy working in the restaurant, cooking in the restaurant, loved the patrons he was serving. He was very good at what he was doing. Then one day, by chance, they brought another chef in. And this chef, he respects the other chef, but this new chef bumps him out of his kitchen that he's been there for so long, been there for a long time. And the old chef doesn't mind. He's like, you know what? I'm going to share the space. I respect this other chef. And he made it work. You know, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. This chef was able to rise above, make it happen against all the odds. and everything was going fine. Again, he could complain, but this chef is not a complaining kind of guy. He just kind of lets it go. Then something happens. One day, this chef is kicked out of his kitchen again, goes to another location in the restaurant to do his cooking, and right in the middle of a wonderful service, he's serving all this delicious food, he gets kicked out again, rather rudely. People just come in and say, well, it's time to go, you don't have time to finish up your cooking, take all your stuff and just get out. That didn't sit well with the chef. So, coming home that night, the chef thought, well, where's the silver lining? There are many little silver linings in that experience, but sometimes there isn't enough silver lining to really make it worth it. That sounds harsh, okay? But what do? I'll tell you what you do. You make a choice, remember? You make a choice to be grateful. You make a choice in life. You make a choice to just get out. You realize that there are other restaurants that you could be cooking in, right? So this chef made an important choice today. I'm gonna leave it at that. So yeah, that being said, how's our sunset? I haven't even seen it. I've been watching these people over here wash their truck. Nope, it's gone. So, oh, it's over there now. Hi, clouds. So anyway, that is my message today. Long story short, kind of long-winded today, I apologize. But my formula, take out the complaint, put in the gratefulness, the gratitude, to be a happier person. And there you go. That's you making a choice to make your life better. But sometimes you need to take care of yourself and just move on, right? All right, that being said, I do wish you guys well. I thank you for watching all that fun stuff. See you guys a little later. Bye.